how are you doing, sir?
I am very, very, very good. Nice to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Mr. Fontaine.
Uh,
your name,
uh,
your name is in
Good
the little
memory.
corner,
Good
so I'm
memory.
like,
Okay, okay.
officially,
I'm
Mr.
about to say you nice with it. You short. You should make see real good. See, the best musicians never reveal their secret. You should have kept that. You like, yeah,
Yes, sorry.
yeah,
Well, thank you for coming back.
yeah,
There's no need to pretend this is our first time. It's like we can be honest.
yeah.
Let people know that we tried to do this once before, and there was a technical issue that was all on me. I take full responsibility for that. So
It's
this is
all
our
good.
take two. But hey, I'm okay with take twos,
Right.
or threes or fours or what have you. But I want to thank you for taking time out to say yes again, because I'm sure you have plenty of other things that you would love to do with your Saturday than sit here chat with me. And
Hey, I'll reach out. It ain't nothing better to do. Jay-Z and Beyonce actually called me for a brunch. I was like, I actually got an interview with Candy, so
yeah,
yeah, just so you know.
I appreciate that, and hopefully she understands.
Yeah,
Some
nah, they
people
do, they
like
do.
that.
It
Yeah.
was like, what Candy? Oh, no, you good. So
uh,
it's all good. And,
that's cool. That's cool. I appreciate that. Um,
mm-hmm.
okay, so I'm going to dive in. Feel free to act like these questions you've never heard before, or or whatever works for you. Begin. And again, kind of as I mentioned before, elaborate as much as you want, or don't elaborate. Keep them short and sweet, whatever suits you.
All
And
right, bet.
I figure let's learn a little bit more about the artists in the Newark community that maybe aren't as associated with visual arts, um, and because it's all about love, and we love artists, not just the visual artists. And so that was kind of my takeaway as to why I wanted to reach out to you and others in the community. And so yeah, here we are. So where are you right now?
Right now, right now, I'm in my house, in Weekway, down in the South Ward. Yeah,
Okay.
uh,
Are
perfect,
you from
right where I want to be.
Are you from that
Yeah,
area?
I'm from a little bit of everywhere, so I lived in 3 states, but this is the first area I went to school in. I lived in North up until I was 9. Then I went to PA up until I was 12. Then I moved to North Carolina for a little bit, and then I went to a boarding school the same year I moved to North Carolina, Pennsylvania,
Oh wow.
and then eventually after college, because I ended up going back down south to go to North Carolina State University, Wolfpack.
Okay.
That's why you see, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, after college, I moved back here just because I just moved around so much, so I kind of wanted to be stationed somewhere, just and this was the only place that I was well, this was the place that I was most familiar with, So I mean, outside of Hershey and the boarding school that I went to, but it ain't nothing out there except for farms and cows and about 2 schools. It's a beautiful place though. You could literally, well, the chocolate factory isn't there anymore, but because I think they outsourced it to
Mm.
another different country, but you can literally smell the chocolate every morning
Yeah, I heard
waking
that.
up.
I mean, I used to hear about that. I don't know if it still is, but I used to hear people say that when you stop through the area, you got your car and you can immediately smell the chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
nice.
bittersweet, but it was cool.
Yeah. So since you moved back to Newark, how long have you been in Newark?
Uh, it's been about 9 years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So if I ever get lost, I will call. No, I'm kidding.
yeah,
I'm messing with you. No, and you've been in your house pretty much since the COVID-19 restrictions have been in place.
yeah, definitely, definitely. I go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've actually been taking advantage of this time just because there's a lot of things I've been wanting to get to, and I look at this as an opportunity to focus on the stuff that I probably should have been doing with the excuses of I don't have time because I gotta go make this money. It's like now you know I can I can start tackling things on my to-do list.
Totally understand that. Absolutely. Um, I know you as J Reed. That's why I call you. Sometimes I call you
Mm-hmm.
Jay, but most of the time I say J Reed, and people know who I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
and I know sometimes I've seen you referred to as Read the Grim, but usually only in writing, like on social media or something like that. Um, where did either of those names, where did they come from?
Well, Jay Reed came from a friend of mine in college. He had, well, not college, high school. When at the boarding school, I was mentioning, that's where I met a good friend of mine. He rapped all day, every day. Like that was his thing. As soon as I, stepped landed on the campus, we kind of clicked. Just because of our love for music, he started a rap group. I wanted to be a part of it. I told him I didn't want to be. My mother named me Jared, so I was like, I don't want to be Jared, man. Everybody had dope names, and so he was like, all right. He's like, let me think about it. He thought about it. And he was like, you're gonna be Jay Reed. And I'm like, all right, that works. Same letters. It worked. JRead, JRead. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Then my friends who after like years, my closest friends, they just called me Reed for short because there was already too many J's. And the Grim was just a name that I picked up just because I heard it and I liked it. And I also needed something to add to Instagram because Jay Reed was taken. So
Ah,
it's like, it was like, yeah, I'll look at the Grim as like an alter ego of mine, just because, um, I don't know, I do a lot of things musically. I play violin and I sing and I rap, but the Grim is like the more aggressive approach, like the hip hop, as opposed to the it's just an alter ego that I like to tap into that, kind of like Beyonce, Sasha Fierce. Yeah.
gotcha. Gotcha. I don't think I've ever heard anybody refer to you as Read the Grim. Do people ever say that to you?
Nah. Some
No.
people will call me the Grim. Some people will say like, just being funny. Like if like my homie down the street, the Grim. It's like that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Okay.
But nobody called me that. That's like I said, I give myself that name, so
Yeah.
nobody else called me that.
I told you what I thought. I thought it was a reference to. I thought it was like a reference to the Brothers Grimm, and I thought it was like a
Oh no no
storytelling
no no
name
no 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 no.
because I figure you're a
I literally just
storyteller, So, but yeah.
I literally dug the name and like just like the dark energy behind like what the Grim is. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, like when I'm spitting, like I a lot of times in my verses I'll say the Grim, like I refer to myself as the Grim,
Hmm.
because the Grim Reaper murders, it's the angel of
Yeah.
death,
I
the
get it.
whole analogy of killing beats, blah blah.
Respect. I
Yeah.
respect that. Um, what attracted you to pursuing art that involves performance?
Mm,
Because I
I
feel
think
like
that's
that's
just
a very
an
specific type of art that has a performance component.
I think I honestly I just think it's I just think it's in me. I don't know. I don't. It's just like some things you just have a passion for, and I think that that's one of those things that I was just naturally intrigued by growing up. You I always, and my mom had me on stage at a very young age. Whether it was gospel choir or some talent show or something like that. She wanted Joe Jackson with it, but she was probably close. You know, Nah, but like I remember like even in preschool, like every day I come home, she was training me for my first talent show. We won, me and my brother, because I think just because we was cute, nothing else. We was little 4-year-olds, like 4 and 5, singing, gospel songs. But I just developed an affinity for being on stage. High school came, just that's kind of what, well, not even before that, even middle school, like I made sure I was always in like, some type of drama club or something like that, just because I always, not even just the performing aspect, but I enjoy the creation aspect and the environment behind the I guess the practice, the rehearsal. I enjoy whether it's like being by myself and creating something or like being with a group and y'all meeting up every so often. It's like an energy that y'all create when y'all when something's being prepared and then to be shared. Though just the whole process is kind of just draws me to it.
Nice. I absolutely get that. Even though I myself am not a performer, I do love the energy of a live performance. So yeah, I think a lot of people, that's kind of what they get from, even if it's just, you know, it doesn't have to be poetry. It can be music. It could be theater. It can be a lot of things. There's one of the main things I think a lot of people react to is the energy of that moment of being
Yeah.
there. And even if it's something that's recorded and they're watching later, they still can pick up on the energy a little bit.
Yeah.
Like if you ever
Yeah.
watch like old Def Comedy Jam performances, stuff like
Oh,
that.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely,
like you get
definitely,
that energy
definitely,
in the room. And,
definitely, definitely.
um,
Yeah.
what do you consider to be the relationship between performance art and what I guess you could say is traditional visual art? I know like visual art can have many different categories, but I think most people would still kind of put visual art in its own category of art, and then put performance art in a different category of art as well. What do you consider the relationship between those two?
Well, the obvious is they both creative outlets. So I would say that first, but also I think that you know the marriage of the two is kind of what makes it even more special. I don't know. It's like I don't know, like you have a show or even a play, like there's aspects of visual art that has to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's the scene that has to be set, you know, even the
Right.
costume design, you know, it really, one can't really exist without the other. You know what I mean? I mean, of course they can, but it's like one is the instrumental and the other is the vocals. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, they can all definitely stand alone in themselves, but when it comes together, it's you know, like a be cliche,
Yeah.
but it's music. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Um, I guess my next question would be is what do you think um, about the Newark arts community, how they can improve the relationship between performing arts and visual arts?
I think we can. I think because the poetry scene is so heavy here,
Yeah.
I think that that's the most heavy, even more so than the music scene, which is surprising to me, just because music is just so much more just popular. You know, more people
Mhm.
listen to music than listen to poetry. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, like creators here gravitate towards poetry. I think that if they make an effort to be more inclusive, um, yeah, that we can. It'd be a lot more. I guess it'd be a little bit easier for the visual artists to find that act or to find those outlets, and and I think that I say that just because it's the easiest thing to do. It's a scene that's already happening. It's just like, okay, marry the two. Not to mention there's a lot more galleries in North than what people know about.
Mhm.
So I think that if those creatives, visual artists, I'm speaking of specifically, taking initiative to do their stuff like the poets do, you know, and also just in general to kind of like spread the word out a little more about it. Just because I don't think that like it's so it seems like it's so prevalent of I guess the art scene in the community, but a lot of times, you know, sad to say, you see the same faces. You know, I wish, I don't know, I don't want to blame anybody because you know I'm a part of that, but I wish there was a way for us to kind of get the word out a little better, so people like, you know, walking downtown every single day would know like, yo, this is going on. It's crazy that I meet people, you know, born and raised here, and they never been to like an open mic or a gallery or something. So like
Yeah.
certain things they don't even know about. You know, I mean, people don't even, some people, you know, sad to say, don't even know about Gallery Aferro. It's right there on Market Street.
Yeah.
You know
We've
what I
had
mean?
that. We've had people come in and say, I didn't even know this was here. And I was like, oh, are you new? And are you new to the city? And they're like, no, I've lived here for
Yeah,
20 years, or I grew up here, and they didn't know. Um, and I never hold that against anybody. People have different likes and things like that, and all are welcome. So, but yeah, it always kind of throws me a little bit when people say, "Oh, I didn't even know it was here," and I was like, "It's literally right here on Market Street." But it's
right,
okay. I guess.
right.
But yeah, you're right. I totally understand like the whole idea behind, um, being able to get the word out, because
Yeah,
you can have a great thing going, but if there's no way to successfully market it, how do people know? You know, you can write the
Yeah.
greatest book ever written, but if nobody knows you wrote it, you know, there's no
Yeah.
way to get the word out or a way to do it effectively. It can,
Yeah.
you know, make it feel like you're shouting in the wind. And so
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
totally understand that.
Yeah.
And then this, you can turn this into an advice question, but it doesn't initially have to be. How do you handle or overcome stage fright?
Preparation. Preparation all the time. I think I said this before, but I think that the less I prepare, the more I'm nervous. And the more I prepare, I might still be nervous, but it's more nervous from from um from energy of like, just about to be, expressed, kind of like a fight, not that you necessarily nervous, but it's like um I don't know, it's like you kind of not necessarily going to battle, but almost,
Yeah.
just because you want to be received how you imagine yourself being received. So the preparation kind of eases that anxiety of feeling like, oh, maybe I might not be received so well. But also, I don't think that you can. I mean, stage fright. I believe comes from being nervous, but I don't think that you can ever like. Well, at least for me, like just fully get rid of being nervous. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you care about something that you're about to, put out to the world, you're going to feel some type of way about it. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of taking that jump, regardless.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. That's great. Um, what artists, and it can be of any background, it could be poets, it could be musicians, it could be sculptors, what have you. What artists make you feel inspired?
Um, Okay, so I'm gonna start out with like some rappers just because I love rap so much. But I
Mm-hmm.
say like Jay Electronica one just because he's like a grown man's rapper. I listen to him and I feel like, I don't know, like I should have my stuff together and be saving the world somewhere, making it, you know what I mean? Like some people you listen to for different energies, but I feel like I get the same with obviously with Jay-Z and Nas. I'm inspired by Regina Carter. Also, definitely inspired by like the artists right here in the community. Like yeah, actually probably one of like my biggest inspirations in performance art, just because of the energy that she brings. I say I don't really want to say somebody else because I don't want to forget somebody. But there's like but that's the homie. So. Uh, yeah, I think I don't know. I would say uh even though he's passed, Jerry Gant definitely was a big inspiration of mine just because of how free spirited he was.
Yeah.
He was just it was just like he didn't have no schedule for nothing. It was just like, yo, this is who I am, and like,
Yeah.
you going I am art, you gonna get what come out of me. It was I don't know, I just feel artists like that. It's like they are. It's not what they do. It's who they are. Anybody who I can get that energy from. And I think that's why the artists up close definitely inspire me more than the art. Even my friend who gave me my rap name, Jay Reed, like he was probably one of my biggest inspiration in rapping, more so than the cats I listen to because he was accessible. He was the one like, yo, we got a project we about to put out. I need you to be on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's because of that, the stuff that I can see that's more inspiring than anything. The stuff I can reach out to people I can reach out and touch and do the same for me.
Okay. Awesome. Um, and it seems silly because I already know the answer, but I'm gonna ask anyway because I'm not the only one who wants to know. Do you practice other forms of art as a hobby or professional or whatever you want to categorize it? What
Yeah.
what else
So
do you do beyond what we know
um I actually I'm actually a strip on it now, man.
for? Okay.
Nah, even though that's art. Anyway,
I'm gonna
I
poke
I
that.
like right. I enjoy painting, you know, just as a hobby, like not nothing serious, but I definitely got a few paintings on my wall. I got a bunch of art on my walls. Most of them aren't mine, but it's something I do enjoy in my free time. And I also love to dance. Like I get down. Like you ever see me out somewhere, like yeah, I'm not shy. I'm not shy. I know last time I said skating, but I was like, you know, skating is just like an extension of dance. I mean, I love to dance. I think that's just like in my family. I got 8 brothers and sisters, and we all dance
Oh,
for
wow.
whatever reason. Yeah.
Hey, I don't, do you, and it's just a hobby? It's nothing you do necessarily, like, you perform as a dancer?
Nah, I don't perform. I'll definitely be in my crib getting it in though, like if
Yeah,
yeah, like by myself, you know.
yeah.
But nothing that like I mean I used to be in dance groups in like high school and college, but it was just for fun. Nah, it's nothing I ever wanted to pursue.
Nice.
Nah.
Hey, being a part of a dance group takes a level of commitment.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
I can definitely appreciate that. um, what right now, and this question could be actually be very different from the last time the answer could be different from the last time I asked you. What gives you hope in the moment? Like, what are you thankful for right
Um, I mean, it's a you know, I'm a spiritual person, and I always remind myself that like this too shall pass. And so it's for me, um, I'm just accepting this present moment for what it is and trying to make the most of it. That's you know, I'm not really concerned with too much of what's going to happen because you know, yeah, not to sound callous, but um you know, people die every day. This isn't the largest, you know, I guess the most severe epidemic that we have. You know, I think starvation kills millions of people every year. And I'm not saying that to be cold, but I I I feel like we should be sensitive to everything at every given time, not just when we have to be quarantined and sit in the house because you know it's a lot easier to be selfish and say, okay, now I care because I gotta protect mine and my own. You know, I think that there's a million things that we should be bringing awareness to, and I do appreciate you know this space because I think that it's important that you know we tackle this issue because it's something that can be I guess prevented in the long run. Like we can actually fix this issue. You know, some things are a lot more complicated, so I do appreciate that we being in the house because lives have been lost. You know, I even lost I lost a relative to the coronavirus.
now?
So I'm not saying that you know I don't care about anything, but all I'm saying is that this is the time that we're in, and all we can do with this time is make the most out of it. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing is try to be present and think about that, and hopefully, you know, whenever this quarantine is lifted, I will have said, you know, I've used the time wisely instead of waiting and complaining for everything to be over.
Right, right. Oh, I think that's a great attitude to have. Certainly, I think it's a perspective. I think some people um, might do well to hear. I think in terms of like caring about the things that affect us that maybe we weren't paying attention to as much before the quarantine. Like
Yeah,
the starvation and things like that. It really exposes problems, I think, in our society that some of us were definitely paying attention to before, but a lot of people were like, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Or,
yeah,
put it, and so to like recognize that these are things that we can pay attention to after the quarantine is over and not
definitely.
have us go back to the norm, which was, just allowing it to exist
Yeah,
and thinking that it's somebody else's problem to solve. But we'll see if
definitely,
that's what happens. um,
definitely.
yeah, but I think, yeah, but I think your perspective is definitely a healthy one, if nothing else.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate because I didn't want to yeah because I know especially like you said like people you because this is one of the issues that literally has to affect everybody. You
Yeah,
know, just because that's why the reason why we inside the home. Like, I will have that faith that when we come out, it kind of shines a light on other issues that we might feel, okay, we all did this for this. Maybe we can all do this for that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Do you have any advice that you would like to share with the community, whether that community is Newark or the arts community or just the global community? Do you have any advice, any advice you'd like to share? It doesn't have to be related to COVID-19. It could be related to your art or just your perspective on life.
Yeah,
No
I
pressure.
would just say, listen to yourself, listen to that, to your concert, to your spirit, or whatever, or even tap into it. You can't even, if you're not in the space to where that voice is loud enough, that kind of tells you maybe I should be pursuing this or not doing that.
Mhm.
Then spend some time with yourself, get to know yourself. Um, yeah, and I think a lot of things will follow suit. 'Cause, yeah,
Hmm,
good.
nice. I think that's great advice. Not that you need my opinion on it, but um,
Appreciate
well, that's the last of my questions.
it. Hey,
Um, you killed it. You were great this time. No, I'm kidding. The last time was awful. Last time you were terrible. This time,
it's okay.
no, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, this was no. Thank you so much again. And I think uh, the what I hope that people get from these conversations. Um, it's not just myself, but a couple. Juno at our registrar, he's done a few as well. I'm
Okay.
hoping that people, um, it gives people opportunity to kind of look into what's going on in the mind of artists. Maybe something they can
Yeah.
relate to if they're not an artist, or something where if they are an artist, they're like, yeah, I'm right there, or I'm somewhere different. So it's interesting to see a different perspective. And then also, it just, if nothing else, gives people the opportunity to look inside other people's houses and see how they're decorated.
Yeah.
So there's two wins right there. There's two wins.
Right. That's right.
Get inside people's minds and get inside people's homes. Um,
Right.
what's
Hey.
the downside to that? No, I'm kidding. But
Well, you just hope y'all don't ain't junkie. That's it. That's
yeah,
it.
you gotta
You
like.
get you go with somebody. Yeah, it's okay. Even if it is, it's okay. It's who they are.
I'm told the bookcase background is the favorite go-to of politicians apparently in their homes.
Yeah.
Which hey, I'm a fan of a nice
That makes
bookcase,
sense.
so I won't complain.
Look, so I tried to do something nice. I was in the desk in
I
front
like
of the
it.
desk. And I'm like, let me. Shouts to Mike, my man who painted this. Very
Oh, okay. Mike who?
Mike, dang, I don't know why I can't think of his last name. Mike, he gonna kill me too. It's all good.
Sorry. If you remember it later, email me and I'll mention it when I share
Yeah,
it.
okay.
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 Okay, so before we sign off, can you let those who are viewing know where they can find you online? Like your website, social media, what have you? Like what are your handles
Yeah.
and whatnot?
Well, all my social media and my SoundCloud is JReadtheGrim. J, just the letter, read, like read a book, the Grim, like the Grim Reaper. And
Okay.
then I'm on all the streaming social platforms for music under just J Read. That's it. J Read. J the letter, read.
Okay.
That's it.
Is that SoundCloud too, or is SoundCloud J Read the Grim?
Yeah, SoundCloud's J Read the Grim.
Okay. And then that's the same for Instagram.
Yep.
And,
Instagram, Facebook, all that. Anything social media wise. TikTok. I'm on
okay.
this app called Boise now. It's kind of cool. You can actually like sing into these like your microphone sounds like it's mixed and mastered. You put effects on it and everything's kind of cool. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Good to know. All right, and I will definitely share that with others, uh, and make sure when I put this out there and I share it with others, I'll put it. I'll hopefully spell everything correctly, and you can and if there's anything that changes or in terms of like I get it wrong, just feel free to shoot me an email or a text or a call or whatever, and I'll change it as soon as I can. I think that's all. I think that's all I got.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Personally, I want to thank you too for being patient, because I know I missed the interview yesterday or 2 days. I forget which day it was, but I'm glad that first of all that you wanted to spend some time with me, because I know time is precious anyway, and also for always helping out and being there when we need you. Open mic, Gallery Aferro. When we open back up, last Wednesday every month. I don't know people's open mic. I don't
Okay.
know when that's gonna be,
Yeah.
but we might do a virtual one. Mia had said something online. Just do a virtual people's open mic, and I'm not opposed to it. So that might happen.
You think it'll be this next week? That'll
No,
be
I don't think it'll be next week.
no, it won't be next week. Okay, so
I
May.
don't think it'll be next week.
It'll be
It
in May.
definitely might be May. Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely let us know if you get the all the details worked out, and we'll help promote it. Even though it's not in Gallery Aferro space, you're still part of Gallery Aferro community.
See, that's why you that homie. That's why you the woman 50 grand.
I appreciate that. Okay, well, I am, even though we can't go outside and enjoy the sunshine, hopefully you can enjoy the sunshine inside,
Right, in the window, all my windows open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave you to your Saturday, and and thank you again, and I'll let you know when this is all out and ready. So
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna say goodbye now. All right, bye bye.